reality they're coming against God. If you are a Hebrew Israelite, I really implore you to check your heart and see why it is that you are involved with this way. Is it because you really are emboldened about, you being a part of the children of Israel by blood? And I'd say if you are, whatever. It doesn't save you. You may be a part of the children of Israel. I understand the curses in Deuteronomy 28. I'm not disputing that. It has nothing to do with my point. That's another discussion for another day. But what I am saying is that you really need to understand why it is that you follow certain people and certain things. Now, I know there's other reasons why people also get involved, because it gives them a sense of pride about their background if they are Israel, which I do personally believe that a lot of black people are truly bloodline Israel. Another discussion for another day. There's scriptures to back that up, but it doesn't save you knowing that.
Yeah.
It can empower you in history, but it is not going to give you life. Only Jesus can do that. And that's why you'll see many people say, well, Jesus was a black man, son. All this comes back to sexual immorality. It all does. Mainly because of the whole thing with desires. I had a desire to want to sleep with as many women as I want to, no repercussions. So I started to tag along with that. But enough on that. Just understand that that's not going to save you. You got to come out of that road. It's a cult. There's no love. Jesus says that you'll know them by their fruits. They'll know that you're his disciples if you walk in love. That's the only way to know Jesus, is to walk in love. You can have all the faith in the world to move mountains. You can hope all things. But if you don't have love for your brother and your sister, you don't belong to Jesus. And a big part of that love is staying away from sexual immorality. One of the biggest. The sexual immorality, to say that you're not only sinning against God, not only sinning against your neighbor, you sin against your own self. And the evidence, the proof is in the pudding. Like I said before, when you start to feel physical pain from you masturbating, it really changes you. Not only that, you can't become as sexually aroused with things that should sexually arouse you. Not as easily. And you really have to undo that. There's still hope to reverse that, but it takes a long time to reverse that.
Because you were so wired to watching the images and stuff like that, would you say that's why?
Let's put it this way. I remember I saw this quote, or I might have heard it, I don't remember, that the average 10-year-old has access to more titties than King Solomon at his best day. Literally. Think about it. He has more access to more naked women, has probably seen more naked women than one of the top 10 richest men in all the world. The world's history. Imagine that. That is how much sex we are exposed to at such a young age. And it's getting worse. Oh my goodness. It's getting worse. I hear kids I'm talking kindergartens, preschoolers having sex in the bathroom.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. My mother works as a preschool teacher.
In preschool? Wow.
Not just preschool. It's K through 12, but these kids specifically couldn't have been older than 5 years old, 7 years old.
Wow.
And I hear the things a couple of my other friends. They also work with kids that young, and they know things that 3-year-olds shouldn't know.
Wow.
And they do things that they shouldn't do. I know a personal account, or I have someone I know, I'm not going to say who it is, out of respect for them. They are very young, not even a teenager, probably. They, at the time, were 9 years old. 9. They were 9 years old, and they were caught doing sexual things with their family member. I'm not going to say their relationship. And their family member was 8 years old. And it's really bad. It's getting really bad. And it's because of what they're exposed to. It all starts with that seed. what they're watching, what they're listening to, who they're hanging around. And you may not deal with it as a person, but if you have kids, what are they watching? What are they dealing with? They sound they're not watching porn. You know, what are they watching? Is it wholesome stuff? Is it filth? What is it? You really have to monitor that. It's really bad. It's so bad.
It's like everywhere.
It's inescapable. It's so bad that you can't escape it unless you're trying to. And that's why it's so important to not just take your kids to church, but teach them the Word of God. Teach them, because your pastor is not your God. Your God is your God. It's your responsibility to teach your kids this. Your school system is not supposed to be the ones that have to teach your kid to stay away from drugs, to say no to drugs. Everybody's seen that stuff, but they still live like hell itself. Everybody. Oh my goodness, especially in America. Who hasn't heard the term "say no to drugs"? Don't drink and drive. As a man, don't, be kind to women. Things like that. How many men grow up to be abusers? How many men grow up to be killers and drug dealers and rapists and just bitter, hateful, prideful, arrogant? How many women are taught, or at least suggested, be ladylike, so on and so forth, and they still end up whorish. They end up whores. They end up on OnlyFans. And I'm not saying that to condemn anybody, because anybody can be saved. Jesus, he desires to have a relationship with you, to know you. If you go and search up his word, if you go and adhere to the word of God, you will have your ways cleansed. I am no better than anybody else. I need God just like anybody else. But at the end of the day, these things will destroy your families, they'll destroy your households, they'll destroy your marriages, they'll destroy your kids, and you'll have to give an account to God. No? You got any other questions for me?
You have anything else you want to say?
I didn't have a part 2.
So that's it?
I guess that's it for right now.
Okay, well, this is the end of the live, guys. Until next